Welcome to A Lively Hope and the 16th episode in my series Signs of the Apocalypse entitled Murder of Ali Kostial and Her Unborn Child. I took over a year off from making videos because, candidly, the prevalence and trends regarding abortion were discouraging me to the point of inaction. The May 2018 referendum on abortion in Ireland alone caused me untold frustration, and I felt helpless. I also felt we must have reached a moral tipping point in the world. After all, how could a country whose population is 78% Catholic overwhelmingly vote to liberalize abortion? The Catholic Catechism unequivocally rejects abortion in every instance and declares its position to be unchangeable. So how did the referendum in Ireland pass with over 66% of the vote? Surely God must be terribly angry. How much longer before he pours out his wrath on the earth for the relentless murder of innocents created in his image? And I was awoken again and feel compelled once more to comment on events that must presage the end times. I believe God calls us all to be vigilant, to be looking outside of ourselves, to recognize and call out evil when we see it, and to help one another stay on the narrow path to salvation. I'm not sure how I learned of the death of Alexandria Madison Kostial, better known as Ali, but I was immediately struck by the images presented of a beautiful, loving, and loyal person who gave of herself freely, a wonderful bright light whose ubiquitous smile came easily and naturally. Her persona in the many pictures released in the media suggest a genuine, positive, sweet person, and maybe someone a bit vulnerable too. So it was puzzling to me that early accounts suggested she was shot 8 times. 8 times suggested rage and overkill. And numerous accounts attributed to authorities reported the 8 shots were to the torso, stomach, or abdomen of her body. These details also struck me as unusual. Why would the killer target her in this way? Why would the killer target her at all? So I began to follow the unfolding story and learned an arrest had been made. A male classmate at Ole Miss was charged with her murder. Reports indicated Ali and the alleged killer, Brandon Thiesfeld, had an on-again, off-again relationship. He has been variously described as arrogant and misogynistic, and I wondered why Ali would continue to seek his company. So it was no surprise when news reports attributed to friends indicated that Ali saw the good in others, including, it would seem, Thiesfeld. Still plagued by what motive led Thiesfeld to murder Ali, I was dumbstruck when the Daily Mail reported that Ali was pregnant with Thiesfeld's baby and had refused his demand to abort the child. She is reported to have said, "No, I don't believe in that," the "that" being a clear reference to abortion. The same day the Daily Mail article ran, I came across a journalist who claimed to be in possession of text messages authored by Ali addressing the pregnancy and her unsuccessful attempts to contact Thiesfeld to discuss the situation. While not corroborated, the information appeared to be credible. The length of her pregnancy was said to have been 17 weeks at the time of the murder. A couple of days later, an interesting article appeared in the Federalist. The author calls Thiesfeld's alleged act a double homicide. And of course, he's right, because Mississippi has laws regarding fetal homicide. Mississippi Code annotated paragraph 11713 describes circumstances when a person may be entitled to bring a wrongful death action and includes circumstances related to the death of an unborn quick child. Mississippi Code Annotated, paragraph 97.319, defines murder to include murder that is done with deliberate design to effect the death of an unborn child. Mississippi Code Annotated, paragraph 97.337, provides a list of the criminal offenses, including murder, homicide, and assault, in which the definition of human being includes an unborn child at every stage of gestation, from conception to live birth. The author of the Federalist article makes a strong case that the murders are an indictment of the abortion culture. I agree. And he references patriarchy and male privilege, demonstrates a strong correlation between abortion and intimate partner violence, and discusses that the leading cause of death for pregnant women is murder. And he doesn't stop there. He shows that contraceptive failure accounts for roughly half of all abortions. Furthermore, he references a study which shows that college-educated women are more likely to view unplanned pregnancy as something that, quote, ruins your life, unquote. News reports indicate that Thiesfeld felt his unborn child would ruin his life. As I read the well-researched Federalist piece, written by an associate professor of theological and social ethics, I came to a different conclusion for what led to the double homicide. Evil. We live in a secular world where moral relativism, and not God, reigns, where a person's unique circumstances are the sole determinant of right and wrong. Moral absolutes are swept aside, and calls are made for infinite tolerance. And while infinite tolerance sounds merciful, consider that it actually means one must accept the entire spectrum of morality, from the greatest good to the lowest form of evil. Aleister Crowley, Satanist, and man some consider to be the most evil person to have ever lived, once famously wrote, quote, "Every star has its own nature, which is right for it. We are not to be missionaries with ideal standards of dress and morals and such hard ideas. We are to do what we will and leave others to do what they will. We are infinitely tolerant, save of intolerance." End quote. This is the world we live in today. Jesus' admonition to go and sin no more has been replaced by Crowley's exhortation to do what thou wilt. Don't be misled. The only true mediator between God and ourselves is Jesus Christ, and he leaves us with an important lesson from Scripture. And he said unto him, "Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is, God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments." Brandon Thiesfeld's alleged actions are a clear contravention of God's laws. They are intrinsically evil. After much research on increasing worldwide secularism and its impact on social issues, I had come to the conclusion that the greatest abomination to God the Father is abortion. But now I'm made to reevaluate that position, because the murder of Ali Kostial and her unborn child must represent the lowest form of evil. God bless Ali for holding to her deeply felt principles, even when faced with violence. A friend and former roommate of Ali is quoted as saying, "The thing about Ali was that she was so kind that I could see her being kind to even the most evil of person." That Ali Kostial, a beautiful soul who sought the good in others, would be met with the most evil of persons, forced to choose between the life of her unborn child and her own life, can only be a sign of the apocalypse. And I add this postscript. It's been reported that Allie loves sunsets. I offer this picture to her memory. I pray for her soul and hope she is in the presence of God, the Holy Family, and the heavenly host. Thank you for watching.